One of the most frequently asked questions by CAT aspirants is how can they increase their reading comprehension skills? So we will shed some light on this topic in this video. When can we say that we are good in RCs? It's when we can read fast, understand what we read, and are also able to retain most of it in our memory to solve questions. To understand how we can read faster with good understanding and retention, let's do a small exercise now. You can see several topics. Some of them should seem easy to you and you would think that you can read articles on them quickly. So, what are they? Most of you would say that any passage on topics such as sports and movies is easy and you can read and understand them very quickly. On the other hand, if you were given a passage on history, arts or literature, you will probably take a lot of time to read it and may not be able to understand and remember it. So, what really makes a passage easy or harder to read? The first thing is familiarity. Topics which we have encountered earlier in newspapers, in school books, etc. are easier. Apart from the topic, we also look for familiarity with words and the writing style. If we see a lot of words we don't understand, or if something is written in a complex manner, we will find it difficult to read. So, what can you do? You already know it by now. Practice, practice, and more practice. The more you read, the easier different topics, words, and writing styles become. It's okay if you find it very difficult at the start. Just remember that things will become easier with time. You should make a conscious effort to read challenging topics and articles from various international magazines and news portals such as the BBC, New York Times, Economist, National Geographic, and other such sources. The next important thing which makes something easier to read is our interest level. We are usually interested in cricket, but not in 19th century philosophy. Is it possible to create interest in what you are reading, even if it's not cricket or movie related? Of course it is. All you need to do is to find a larger purpose to reading. If you think that you need to read only for CAT's VARC section, your thinking is way too small. You need to read to increase your knowledge so that you can not only score a good percentile but also succeed in the interview round and later in life. If you think about this larger purpose, I'm sure you will read with more interest and this will help you read faster and remember more. So the key is to practice, 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 but with interest and excitement. Now let's talk about some expert tips to read faster, which have been suggested by speed readers around the world. The first one is to stop subvocalization, which means you should not be repeating words in your mind as you are reading. Many of us have this habit since childhood of either reading loudly or repeating words and sentences in our head. But speed readers say that this is a bad habit, and they suggest that you can read with music in the background to change this. The next tip to read faster is to scan the passage quickly first. The aim is to mainly get an idea about the topic and difficulty level of the passage. It's okay if you don't really absorb much more, but at least you will be mentally prepared for reading properly later. The third tip is to not reread sentences and paragraphs. If you go back and forth, it wastes a lot of your time. But remember, you need to stay sharp and focused to avoid rereading. Another tip is to use the cursor to guide your eyes and keep moving forward. So with this, I'm sure you will get better in RCs and be able to score well on your CAT. If you like this video, please consider supporting us by subscribing to the channel and sharing with your friends. Thank you and all the best.